All right, well, welcome to Shred from the Shed. This is Brian Watson, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about return to work and remote work. So a lot of companies are talking about taking a remote work philosophy, and I think that's great. Given everything that's gone on in the last couple of years, it absolutely makes sense. It makes sense to get the best talent wherever you can get that talent. That said, I have had to have some discussions with companies about their remote first work arrangements because it does have implications on their SRED claims potentially. It's great if people are able to work wherever they are. You just need to know that as an employer, if you plan on claiming SRED for those people, you do need to know where they are actually working. The reason for that is, technically, you can only claim SRED for employees that are working in Canada. There are a few exceptions to this, such that if an employee had to go down to the States or to another country to work on a specific piece of technology or work on a specific site to do some testing, there is some allowances in the SRED policy for that sort of work happening remotely outside of Canada. That being said, unfortunately, there is not an allowance under the SRED policy for remote work for convenience. So, where some employers are finding some difficulties and getting a few surprises is when their workers are working remotely and they haven't realized, for example, that they're working from another country, technically they should not be being counted towards the SRED, even if they are being issued a Canadian T4 for the period that they are outside of the country. Now, for safety reasons, for family reasons, for making sure that you get the best employees or can retain the best employees, this may make absolute sense to work remotely, work from wherever in the world they want to. It may make absolute sense. My point here is, if you are allowing your employees to work from wherever they need to work from or want to work from, wherever that is in the world, that you should just plan ahead. You should know where they're working and understand that when you're making your SRED claim, you do have to take out those periods that they are not working in the country, even if they are being paid as a Canadian citizen. So just something to be aware of. We can certainly answer more questions about that, but it is something that I have talked to a lot of companies about, and they hadn't realized when they were drafting their policies that this was the case. So if you do have people that are working outside of the country, they should be taking out of the SRED claim for the periods that they are working remotely outside of the country, which will reduce your SRED. Now, of course, if they are working within the country and just in another province, that's a whole different issue. In that case, a different calculation might be made. They would be allowed to be claimed under the appropriate SRED program, and you should just talk to your accountant or your SRED provider for some clarity on where they should be claimed and what rate you should be claiming people at. But the big concern is people that are working remote, working outside of the country, and employers not necessarily knowing where their employees are working. So my recommendation, if you can find out where your employees are working, if you do have a remote first work policy, I would recommend you doing that, just so that you can keep track of what SRED you will be eligible for and what SRED you will not be eligible for. So thank you very much. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out, and thanks for watching this episode of SRED from the Shed.